welcome back. In this video, we're going to do our kind of skydiving, over the landscape, get a lay of the land, high level overview. We want to go through the research and identify or highlight those things that are catching our attention that we may want to drill down further. And I say that we may want to because not every objective that you put on your bibliography card or that you highlight stays. With that, let's get going. So here you see is our research document. I've gone ahead and removed all of the highlights so that I can walk through you as quickly and efficiently as possible how I do my high-level overview. Now keep in mind, I am not reading this research word for word as I am doing this, and I don't expect you to do that at this phase either. The point of this exercise is to scroll through and identify things that you want to include in the overview part of your bibliography card. So I scroll down, and the first thing that kind of catches my attention is usually these main headings. So here I'm gonna say the introduction because I think it's important to look at headings and subheadings and things like that. As I scroll through, one of the things that will catch my attention as I'm looking at headings and subheadings is that this research was done based on a literature review opposed to I guess an experiment of some sort. A subheading here, control and organizational practice transfer. I recognize that phrase from the abstract, and it was something that I had included in my description. As I went through here, I saw that they talked about formal control and informal control. Those are things that I think might be important to look at more closely since they're talking about ethical leadership, culture, and control. And then as I scroll down further, oh, look at this, we have ethical leadership. And oh, there's a definition for ethical leadership. So that's going to be important, at least for me at this point. I am still relatively early in my Zettelkasten process, and so I do find that I'm defining a lot more words, terms, concepts, and theories, things of that nature, so that I have a better understanding of it overall. And then let's scroll through here. And see what else might catch my attention. Oh, okay, so we have cultures here. So this had caught my eye as I went by, but I wanted to finish highlighting that the subheading on cultures. This phrase seems odd to me, this peculiarity of ethical leadership. And so I was curious about what they're talking about here. So I highlighted it as something that I wanted to include in my overview and to learn more about. And then I have my cultures. And as I scroll down, again, I'm not as concerned about methodology because my research is more for background purposes, identifying terms, concepts, and theories, and how I can use them. So I do scroll through this part relatively quickly because remember, I'm not reading this word for word right now. I'm just doing a very quick, high level, skydive 1,000 feet up in the air, look at what's going on and what the research is talking about. Okay, starting to get into the concluding remarks. Okay, yep, I want to look at what their contributions were because this is going to probably have more information later on that I might be interested in. And their practical implications. Yeah. So this is kind of my high-level review. We already talked about the limitations in the previous video. And if I go to my card now, you can see that each of those items that I highlighted in green, I had put in here on my card in the overview. So I've got my introduction, I've got that it was a literature review. As part of that literature review, they were looking at control and organizational practice transfer. That was something that we had noted as part of our overall description because they referenced it twice within their abstract. Ethical leadership and cultures, that ties right into the main topic of the research article. We identified formal control theories and informal control theories. That caught our attention. So did the definition of ethical leadership and that really odd phrase of peculiarities of ethical leadership. Cultural perspective, because again, that ties to the abstract and the overarching theme of the research itself. And then theoretical and empirical contributions, as well as the practical implications. And so I hope that this helped you see that even though we're going through the research 5 times, we are not going through it word for word, memorizing it to that level of detail, at least not yet. At this level, we're just trying to get a lay of the land. What's out there? How much is it covering? What are things that are catching our attention? How is it laid out strategically in an organizational outline, architectural fashion? Because those are the things that detail importance from the perspective of the writers. They use certain headings and subheadings for a reason, because they want to draw your attention to set information. And so that's what our overview is doing. Our overview is capturing some of that outlining and structure so that we can build upon it in doing our research. So I hope that helps you. Come back for the next video and we'll dive in just a little bit deeper.